Hello Aquarius, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your October 2022 mid-monthly check-in reading for you. So I have a kind of a strange message that's going on. It is the concept of angels and demons for you. So when we look at the concept of an angel, because a lot of people don't quite grasp the concept of them, let's break it down. So when we think of an angel is supposed to be this giant megalith thing that spans through dimensions. Okay, angels are not, similar to humans. All right. When we look at the angels, they are these giant constructs that sit in space and they transcend time, dimensions, whatever, and they go through every single dimension their physical bodies do, right? Now we can't see them, and if we were to see them, we would probably die because it's too grand and too spectacular to see. However, the same concept also applies to demons because they are fallen angels. What's important to understand about these things is that they are constructed of legions. Think of like your body, all right? So you have a body and you have cells. All of your cells create your body and it allows you to walk through time and space, all right? Same concept of the angels. They have a body, they have a structure, but each one of the cells is kind of like an individual angel, same concept with the demon. So that's why when we look at, the ancient text, it says this demon is ruled by X amount of legions of demons, or this angel rules over X legions of angels, because those angels form the mindset, the construct of that angel, that particular construct in the sky, the thing that transcends dimensions. All right. So I feel like there is a huge war that you're thinking about. What about angels? What about demons? Are they actually fighting on this earth? Are they in physical form, or what are they? What we're really dealing with, Aquarius, is we're dealing with the cellular constructs of angels and demons in this world. All right, we're not dealing with the giant megalith structure. That's like when all the angels finally combine into one thing, when they finally make up the full body. Same concept with the demons. So yeah, it is possible to actually meet angels. It is possible to meet demons. It is possible that, they can latch on, demons can latch on and force you to serve the megalith, the hive mind, the community, all right? Because that's what is occultic about the beehive in, say, Freemasonry, or just about the beehive in general. The queen is like the brain, and everything else is kind of like a drone. It serves a purpose. It serves the purpose of the hive. They are all extensions of the queen. And if, say, a demon could latch onto you and force a human to serve the construct of the demon or the construct of the angel, that is where you get followers of the light path, followers of the shadow path. Now, once again, you don't have to worship demons or whatever to be part of the light path or of the dark path. I'm just breaking it down for you into a simple construct, a simple understanding right here. So what's going on? Why is this message coming out for Aquarius? What do we need to know for Aquarius right here? We have the Strength card, the foundation. Maybe you're understanding the foundation of your angel, of your guardian angel. That could be what's important to understand. Who is your guardian angel? Who's your patron angel? And, if you're a shadow worker, if you're into black magic, I'm not going to get all into that, but that could be a similar, topic as well. Who is the angel for you? Because the angel shuts the mouth of the lion, all right? That could be something that's very important for you to look at during this time period is, what angel are you serving? What angel are you under? Because the angels are serving God. Obviously, if you are a follower of light, you're serving God too. However, what archetype do you fall under? Because there are archangels, there are cherubs, there are, X, Y, and Z's, and they all kind of like transcend different dimensions, because heaven is not just, one pocket dimension. It's the concept of everything combined, the 10th dimension, this concept of string theory, all dimensions laid out into one thing. That is the concept of heaven. That is the concept of hell as well. So what is going on for Aquarius? What do we need to know? You have the Page of Swords, you have the Three of Cups, and you have the Queen of Cups. So it seems like you have a very strong foundation right here, Aquarius. You seem to if you can see right here, she's working on behalf of this dragon, all right? This sorceress, she can summon a dragon. I kind of feel like, in a way, Aquarius, you have the ability to summon a very powerful entity. You can kind of like show off the true form of this thing. Maybe you're serving an angel right here. Maybe you're following God, whatever it is. But you've been born under the archetype of a very supreme being, a very supreme archangel. Now, with this Page of Swords and this Three of Cups, people are starting to take notice of this. Maybe you don't even notice this for yourself. The Page of Cups, there could be a spy trying to look at you, trying to see what you're worshiping, trying to see who you fall under. With this Queen of Cups, it's kind of like siren energy as well. So I kind of feel like someone is looking and seeing that someone is following a negative path. This could be you. You could be looking at a group of people and seeing that they fall under a negative entity. Maybe they look like they practice light worship. Maybe they look like they practice God. But if you take a deeper look into the foundation of what their ideology is, I really don't think that they follow a good path right here, because this Queen of Cups is like a siren. She lures people into her teachings, into her message. I feel like that could be, a very good thing right here, is to study the angels, study the demons, to see what they each do. Because each demon rules something different, just like each angel rules something different. If you understand the rulings and the teachings behind each one, you can kind of pinpoint in a crowd who follows what, who follows who. All right? So let's look at this Page of Swords. Who's contracted to what, who's bound to who. But I feel like you have discernment with this strength energy. You have the ability to pull this very strong entity out of kind of like thin air. Let's look at this strength card. We had the King of Cups right here. Yeah. You're definitely dealing with like an archangel. You're falling under the type, like, when you're born, everyone is kind of like assigned a guardian angel. That's kind of the concept of it. You have an archangel and it's split up into trillions of other angels, but each one functions as a hive, a network to serve the consciousness of this one construct. And I kind of feel like you're serving a king right here. You're underneath a king. You have the ability to pull something out of the sky. You have the ability to summon this grand thing, or maybe something is watching over you. Maybe you have the ability to summon an archangel. Maybe an archangel is watching over you, or a piece of an archangel. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with this Page of Swords, is it's giving you the discernment to pick out of a crowd who is the Queen of Cups, who is a false teacher of life. You have the Page of Swords and you have the Judgment. Yeah, it's been given to you with Judgment. You can call judgment on these people. That's what you need to focus on, Aquarius, is kind of combating, because you are the humanitarian sign, combating the evil in the world right here. When you see something that is not quite right, why does it not feel quite right? If you study these scriptures, if you study, different belief systems, you can pick apart like pastors on TV. There are some pastors on TV who have like very sinister eyes. And I talked about this in Cancer's reading. I tell a lot of people, go and look at Cancer's reading, especially this last one I did. This last one had a lot in it. I talked about a lot of different things. There is something called the dark triad, right? And it's oftentimes, the stronger the dark triad, it's something like has to do with the face. The stronger the dark triads, the stronger there is a pull to psychopathy, to narcissism, to Machiavellianism. So that's what this is right here. You're studying people and you're saying, hey, that's not quite right. You're definitely not following under an archangel. And you're giving people this judgment call. You're calling judgment on a situation right here. You're calling people to rise up from their graves to see what they're actually following. Three of Cups, the Ace of Swords coming out. With the Hierophant, yeah, you're calling judgment on their order. You're calling discernment. You're calling a sharp truth on this order right here. So you could be actually pulling out, a truth about who people are following. You could be dealing with, like, say, a cult leader. Like, there could be a cult leader, or a cult politician who has a leader or a group of people who follow them. You're just seeing the discernment. You're seeing why people are following underneath someone. Have you ever just met people who are polarized by, like, a person? Well, who is that person's angel, or who is that person's demon? And then you'll see that they're pulling all these people in because they all are attached to either that angel or that demon to function like a hive mind. Think of, like, a famous singer. the people who are like true fans of that singer, they're obsessed. Why are they obsessed? That singer either follows a light path or a shadow path, and then it's connecting to the spirits, the lower entities of that same demon, of that construct, of that angel itself. The Queen of Cups, the sun is coming out. You're bringing the illumination right here with the Page of Wands. You might be, it's a very silly concept because the Page of Wands is kind of a silly person. I talk about this in, I believe, Capricorn's reading. The Page of Wands is an interesting card. All the pages are, because they're given the aces of the universe. And that's something that's with the strength energy right here. You're given an ace, all right? So the pages receive like the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, whatever. And they don't know what to do with it. They're like, oh, this is cool. But here's the thing. The Page of Wands receives the staff from the Hermit card. The Hermit is the concept of Merlin the Magician. All right. Now, I know we have a Magician card. However, that is like the Merlin's apprentice who's grown up and has now assumed the role of the Magician. The Hermit is the retired version of the Magician. Okay. Now, imagine if Merlin handed off his staff to this Page of Wands right here. That wand can do all kinds of tricks. That wand can summon all kinds of things. That wand could summon the sun. How could this page summon the sun? Well, here's the thing. You're spreading the illumination on whatever this is now. You have the Five of Swords. You're using a sharp truth. This is your base energy, Aquarius. This is who you are. The Five of Swords is saying, I've got you. Now I know how to cast judgment. Now I know how to pierce through this veil. Now I understand who's aligned with what, whose demon is whose angel is who's following the light, who's following the darkness right here. You have the Star, your card coming out. Remember, the sun is just a star, all right? It's Leo energy, and then you have the starlight energy, which is your energy. It's the grand magnum opus of the stars. That's kind of what I'm seeing, is you're seeing who follows the construct of one thing, right? We have a billion stars out there, trillions, whatever. Those stars are in constellations, and those constellations are kind of like the construct, the beehive, right? Each one of them is still an individual star. However, they form one thing. And that's what you're picking apart now. That's what you're starting to notice, is how it all blends together to be one thing. And that's now where you're starting to see the archetypes of people. And here's the thing. I know people don't like to say, you can't put me in a box. I'm very, different. In psychology, you can put people in a box. In intelligence, you can put people in a box. Everyone has an archetype. Everyone has a theme. Everyone is like whatever. However, there are the wild cards. There are people who can fit in multiple boxes. Like, that's what's important to understand, is that people are not as different as you think they are. I mean, there are only so many constructs of a human body that you can have, all right? There are only so many facial features people can have. There are people in China who look just like people in Europe, because there are only so many different facial features that people can have. There are people who, in South Africa can look like people in Native Americans in America, because there are only so many different structures and so many whatever that a face can have. That's what you're noticing, is there are archetypes, there are boxes, the similarities are there. Now you have to use your judgment and your discernment to pull apart and say, oh, okay, because it's really weird. It is really weird to see people of different ethnicities or different races who look just like your family members. You're like, oh, you're not. But you can start to pinpoint, okay? And that's something that I feel like you need to hone in on. That is a skill to have. That is something that, is very relevant. I mean, that's part of facial recognition. So we have the Emperor, having the authority of that, having the authority, the ability of discernment. The Emperor is someone who doesn't take, jokes. He is all about business. He is about the authoritarian. It's kind of like a representation of an archangel as well. Two of Cups connected to it. The Four of Cups. You might know you are connected to an archangel. Here's the thing, Aquarius. A lot of people like demons because they look enticing. They like the concept of, artists have drawn them with horns and wings and, large claws. And sometimes people don't like angels because angels are always like, halos and beautiful and white feathery wings and all that other stuff. Angels are terrifying, okay? Remember, demons are just fallen angels. Angels look very similar to that, all right? That's why they always have to say, be not afraid. When an angel appears to someone, it always tells them, be not afraid. Why? Because they look very similar. That is their greeting card. That is their calling card. Demons don't do that. In fact, demons have to appear beautiful in a way that you would like them. Angels appear in their truest form. All right? That's what you're not seeing right here. You're not connecting with your angel because you don't believe that angels are just as powerful. You don't believe them to be as beautiful. It's like a very minor thing. Like, a lot of people turn down angels because they're like, angels or whatever. And I mean, the way that they're drawn and depicted, yeah, it can be kind of bland. Seven of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Hanged Man. See it from a higher perspective, though. There's fantasy, there's illusion. It's the aesthetics, all right? The aesthetics is the illusion right there. You have to see angels for what they are at a higher perspective, things that transcend dimensions. They move quickly, okay? They are very fast. They're very terrifying creatures. So anyway, let's look at your Witch's Familiar cards. Seeing things from a higher perspective, seeing past the illusion. Because the illusion, the wings, that all that stuff, that's the illusion right there. That's to get people glamorized into following demons. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, demons are portrayed in a more aesthetically pleasing fashion than most angels are. But the true form, the truth behind it, is that angels are scarier. Remember that. You have promiscuity, nymph, elf, mischief. So with this nymph, promiscuity, and with this elf, mischief card, here's the thing. Demons are the concept of mischief. They are the concept of the fae. Remember when Catholicism started to break down paganism, they associated demons to the nymphs, to the satyrs, to those types of things. And they gave them the devious, mischievous energy. Anything that was not following one thing was considered a demon. If it wasn't pure energy and it wasn't doing good for humanity, then it was considered a demon, even if it sat on a positive, or not on a positive, but on a zero polarity, as like being completely balanced. Because the church said, well, if it's lukewarm, then it's of evil. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right here, is that there is glamour within the elf mischief energy. There is a glamour, there is a seduction within the darkness, but see things from a higher perspective, all right? That could change your life right here, Aquarius, especially within October. Not falling for the elf mischief nymph glamour of the demons. See an angel for what it truly is. Turning down promiscuity as well is very important right here, because the nymphs were promiscuous creatures. That's another reason that they were demonized as evil. That's where we get the word nymphomania, you know, like sex addict, because promiscuity and satyrs and nymphs having sex. In fact, the god Pan eventually turned into Satan, because that's where we get the concept of, you know, him having hooves and him having, you know, hairy legs and whatever. That's like the concept of, you know, modern day Satan paintings, is that he has hooves, he looks like a goat, whatever, because satyrs were the male version of the nymphs. So be aware of that. They also were like very lascivious, drunken, disgusting kind of creatures. But there were some who were okay, like the fauna. Fauna are basically the Roman version of the nymphs. They were a very different type of creature. However, with this elf energy can also be fairly mischievous as well. They're kind of like the concept of the fae. So be aware of elves as well. Elves are very trickster, very devious energies. We have home and we have happiness. There's happiness at home right here. Happiness at home. Being at home with your own energy. There's more happiness and there's more fulfillment being at home with the angel who is guiding you. You have your unalone. The angel is still watching you. And they want you to release and accept them. They want you to release the concept of evil and accept them for who they are. Maybe that's the concept that you can't understand, is that what you should do is you should look up something called the Angelarium. The Angelarium is a book. I forgot who wrote it, who did it, but it's a very beautiful book. It really depicts angels, the concept of them. So go and look that up, okay? If you're wondering like, oh, angels are this, that, and the other, they're these beautiful whatever. No, go and look at the Angelarium, and then you'll see, oh, that's the concept of an angel. I like that a lot more. Because when someone is drawing them like to scale to what they're supposed to look like, and you see them for what they actually are, you're like, oh wow, that's actually a lot cooler than what I thought a demon was. And then go and look at like the 72 goetic demons, and then compare them to the Angelarum, to the goetic demons, you'll be like, mm-hmm. So release the concept of the demon and accept the concept of the angel. Black Cat, fortune meets opportunity, the underworld, where all things pause and begin again. Okay? So here's an opportunity to take it. So take it and accept it. Accept help from the angels right here, because they will not lead you astray. The underworld, where all things pause and begin again. You might be going through a severe, not a severe, but you might actually end up having to defeat a demon. That's kind of like what this is right here. You might end up having to defeat a demon, but in order to understand that, and when I say defeat a demon, it's kind of like demons try to build platforms, right? They try to get people to follow them. And demons will then use their influence to control the people who they have gotten under their control, right? Once they've done that, once they are controlling a certain amount of people, once they've brought them down, it's really easy for them to rise to the top. They basically, use everyone and take their money and, whatever. I feel like, in a way, you're able to destroy the platform of a demon, a very powerful demon, by using the power of an angel, by recognizing what this person is, the dark triads, or, or what is the word I'm looking for? Psychology. There we go. So let's look at your rune cards. And send it back to hell, where it belongs. So happiness, celebration, harmony, family, fellowship, hope, and good luck, inner peace, and one with the universe, okay? Because when you send a demon back to hell, it takes a while for it to come back to earth, okay? And then when it starts to come back to earth, it has to restart, or it has to break off another piece of itself to come back to earth. Like, it has to restart from square one, all right? And that's why it's important that angels and people foil the plans of demons consistently within this world, because if you don't, then, what happens? Well, they overrun. Angels are consistently breaking down the barriers of demons, breaking down their platforms, crushing them. And demons are always consistently trying to build themselves up. Now, you might think, well, it's futile because in Revelation, the demons win. Well, they win for like 7 years and then it falls apart again. That's what you have to understand, is that until that time period, it's still kind of like, a war. It's still recognizing who falls under whose demon, who looks like this, who's following this. Because remember, each demon can give people certain gifts, certain abilities, certain powers. So we have Anne says, open your mind, connect with the higher power, broaden your horizons, and invoke wisdom. Connect with the higher power, not a lower power, okay? So anyway, Aquarius, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.